What if the most powerful thing you could do for your brain today takes less than 60 seconds? Picture this. You are standing in your kitchen, completely certain you came in there for something, and now, nothing. Blank. Or you are mid-sentence, talking to someone you care about, and a word that you have used 1,000 times suddenly disappears. Or someone introduces themselves and 5 seconds later, their name is already gone. These moments feel small, but they pile up. And deep down, they begin to whisper something you do not want to hear, that your mind is slipping. Here is what I need you to know right now, before we go any further. That feeling does not have to be your future. Science has proven, and I mean proven, that your brain can build new connections, recover sharpness, and push back against mental fog at any age. In this video, you are going to learn a 60-second daily brain exercise rooted in neuroscience, the exact same method that has helped real patients rediscover a clarity they thought was gone forever. You are going to understand why memory fades, why it does not have to, and what you can do starting right now. Before we dive in, if this is the kind of content that speaks to you, please hit that subscribe button right now and tap the bell icon so you never miss a new video. Every week I bring you science-backed strategies to protect your mind, your memory, and your independence. Subscribe and join our growing community. And once you watch this video all the way through, I want to hear from you in the comments. Share your experience, drop your questions, and tell me what topic you would like me to cover next. Your suggestions directly shape what I make. Now let us get into it. Hi, I am Dr. Vanse, a neurologist who has spent years working with patients whose greatest fear is losing the sharpness of their own minds. I am glad you are here today, because what I am about to share with you is not a trend or a trick. It is practical, evidence-based, and it is something you can start using today. Let us begin with a question that almost nobody asks out loud. Is memory loss actually inevitable? Most people assume the answer is yes. We joke about it. Movies reinforce it. And slowly, quietly, we start to accept it as a fact of life. But that belief is one of the most damaging ideas in modern health. Because when we believe nothing can be done, we do nothing. We stop challenging our minds. We stop seeking solutions. And without realizing it, we speed up the very process we fear. Here is the truth that neuroscience has been confirming for decades. Memory decline is not a straight line down. It is influenced, powerfully, by how we use our brains every single day. I have had the privilege of studying what researchers call super-agers, men and women in their 80s and 90s with cognitive sharpness that rivals people 30 or 40 years younger. They are not outliers due to lucky genetics alone. The thing they share is a lifestyle that keeps the brain continuously engaged and nourished. The scientific concept behind this is neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is your brain's built-in ability to reorganize itself, to create new pathways, to repair and strengthen connections throughout your entire life. Think of your brain's pathways the way you would think of trails in a dense forest. Every time you learn something new or recall a memory, you walk that trail. Walk it often enough, and it becomes a clear, wide road. Stop walking it, and the forest grows back over it. But here is the part that matters most. Even if some of your trails have grown over, you still have the ability to build new ones. That ability never disappears. It just needs the right kind of activity to wake it up. The exercise I am going to teach you in this video is specifically designed to do that. It is a short, focused routine that pulls your brain out of autopilot mode and forces it to build new connections. It combines a simple physical movement with a mental challenge, and that combination creates a synergy far more powerful than either part on its own. Before I show you exactly how to do it, I want to share a story about one of my patients, a man I will call Robert. Robert was 78 years old when his daughter brought him into my clinic. He had been a skilled craftsman his whole working life, a man who built things with careful precision. But lately, something had shifted. His daughter told me that he had started stopping mid-sentence because he could not locate the word he wanted. He had forgotten the name of his youngest grandchild during a family dinner. The child's confused expression, she said, broke her heart. Robert sat across from me and said something I have heard countless times in my career. He said, "Doctor, it is just age. My mind is not what it used to be. There is nothing to be done about it. But resignation is not a diagnosis." I could see the frustration underneath it. I could see a man who still had a great deal of life to engage with. So I made him a simple offer. "Give me 1 minute a day," I said. "That is all I am asking. I am going to teach you a routine that may feel a little unusual at first, but I want you to commit to it for 4 weeks. He was skeptical, but he agreed. 4 weeks later, Robert came back, and the change was visible from the moment he walked through the door. His daughter was with him, and she spoke before he had a chance to. She said, "Doctor, last week his grandson asked him about a toy he had built years ago. He did not just remember the toy, he told the whole story. He described the wood he used, where he bought it, the name of the family dog at the time. I have not heard him speak like that in years." Robert smiled and told me that around the second week of doing the routine, he noticed he was following conversations more easily. Ideas were connecting again. Words that used to escape him were coming back. He said it felt, in his words, like a window that had been stuck shut was finally opening. Now, Robert's results were meaningful, but I want to be honest with you the way I was honest with him. Not everyone experiences a dramatic shift in 4 weeks. Results vary. What I can tell you is that the underlying mechanism, neuroplasticity, is real. It is well documented, and the exercise activates it. And the only way to find out what it does for you personally is to try it. So let us talk about how to do it. This is a 60-second routine. All you need is a chair. You do not need any special equipment, any supplements, or any prior fitness level. The exercise is divided into 2 30-second phases that work together to create one powerful brain-activating experience. Start by sitting at the front edge of your chair. Keep your back straight but not stiff. Place your feet flat on the floor, roughly hip-width apart, and rest both hands on your thighs. Before you begin, close your eyes for just a moment. Take one slow breath in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. Let your shoulders drop. Open your eyes. The first 30 seconds focus on physical activation. The goal is to increase blood flow and oxygen delivery to your brain while activating the parts of your nervous system responsible for coordination. Here is the movement. Slowly raise your right arm forward until it is parallel to the ground. As you lift it, inhale through your nose to a slow count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then slowly lower your right arm back to your thigh. As you lower it, exhale through your mouth to a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Without pausing, do the exact same thing with your left arm. Lift while inhaling for 4 counts. Lower while exhaling for 4 counts. Continue alternating arms in this slow, deliberate rhythm for the full first 30 seconds. Do not rush. Control is the entire point. Rushing creates tension, and tension is counterproductive to everything we are trying to do here. This movement combined with that deep, patterned breathing calms your nervous system, opens circulation to your brain, and signals your neurons to shift from passive to alert. It is preparing the stage for what comes next. In the second 30 seconds, you keep the exact same physical movement going, and you add a mental task on top of it. This is where neuroplasticity gets ignited. The combination of a motor task and a cognitive task forces different regions of your brain to communicate at the same time. Your frontal lobe, which handles focus and decision-making. Your cerebellum, which manages coordination. Your temporal lobe, which is home to memory. When all of these regions have to work together simultaneously, your brain builds new connections between them. Think of it like asking different sections of an orchestra to play 2 melodies at once. To make it work, the musicians have to find new harmonies. And those new harmonies are your neural pathways growing stronger. The mental task is simple. While continuing your arm movements and your breathing, begin naming things in a category. Start with something concrete. Try fruits. As your right arm rises, say apple. As your left arm rises, say banana, orange, grape, strawberry, mango. Whatever comes to mind. If your mind goes blank, do not force it. Just breathe, keep moving, and let the next word come on its own. The goal is not speed or volume. The goal is to keep your brain in active search mode while your body moves. That active searching is the stimulus your neurons need. That is the full routine. 60 seconds, 2 phases, 1 powerful outcome if you do it consistently. Now let me talk to you about consistency, because this is where most people lose the benefit. Your brain is remarkably good at adapting. If you do the same exact exercise in the same exact way every day, it will get easier. And when it feels easy, it is no longer creating new connections. You have to keep the challenge alive. The rule I tell my patients is simple. If it feels effortless, it is time to change something. Here is a practical progression you can follow week by week. In your first week, work with simple, concrete categories. Fruits one day, animals the next, then items of clothing, then types of food. In your second week, move to a more demanding task. Name words that begin with a specific letter. Choose the letter P and say as many words as you can think of that start with P: person, paper, path, palace. This forces your brain to search in a different way. In your third week, try counting backward from 100 in steps of 3 while continuing the arm movements. 100, 97, 94, 91. If you lose track, simply breathe and resume from wherever you left off. The attempt itself is the workout. In your fourth week and beyond, get creative. Mix categories. Name capital cities. Recall names of people you went to school with. The more novel and varied the mental task, the more powerfully your brain responds. There are 3 mistakes I want you to avoid. The first is rushing through the movements. This is the most common error I see. Moving your arms quickly, breathing shallowly, treating the exercise like a chore to get through. That defeats the purpose entirely. Slow, deliberate movement paired with deep breathing is what creates the neurological conditions this exercise depends on. The second mistake is inconsistency. Doing this for 3 days and then skipping a week is like watering a plant once and then leaving it to dry out. The brain responds to repetition. A practical strategy that works well is to attach this routine to something you already do every morning, right before your first cup of coffee, or right after you brush your teeth. Anchor the new habit to an existing one, and it becomes automatic. The third mistake is doing it with distractions around you. Turn the television off. Step away from a conversation. That 60 seconds is reserved for you and your brain. Your focused attention is the very tool that shapes the new pathways. If your attention is split, the results are too. And here are 3 habits that will amplify what this exercise does. Drink a glass of water before you begin. Your brain is made up largely of water, and even mild dehydration impairs cognitive performance. Hydrating before your routine gives your neurons the conditions they need to operate at their best. Just before you start the exercise, take a moment and form a slight smile, even a gentle, deliberate one. Research has shown that this simple physical act signals the brain to release chemicals that support learning and memory formation. It is a small thing that makes a meaningful difference. And finally, teach this routine to someone else, a partner, a neighbor, a friend. When you explain something, your brain has to organize the information in a structured way, and that process deepens your own neural connections. You also gain a partner in consistency, which makes it far more likely that you will both stick with it. So here is where we stand. You came into this video wondering whether something could actually be done about memory and mental sharpness. The answer is yes. Not through wishful thinking, but through a specific, science-grounded activity that activates neuroplasticity, your brain's own built-in capacity to grow, repair, and rewire. The 60-second exercise I shared with you today is a direct application of that capacity. Robert used it. Hundreds of my patients have used it. And now you have it too. But knowing about it changes nothing. Doing it changes everything. So here is my challenge to you. Commit to this routine for 7 days. 1 minute each morning. That is 7 total minutes over the course of a week. And then come back here and tell me what you noticed. You do not need a dramatic transformation to report. Maybe you felt a little more alert one morning. Maybe a word came back to you that usually slips away. Whatever you notice, write it in the comments below. Share what happened and describe what you experienced. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to take that first step. And while you are down in the comments, I want to hear from you about something else too. What do you want me to cover next? What question about your brain, your memory, or your overall mental health has been sitting in the back of your mind? Leave your suggestion, and I will do my best to make that video for you. Your input genuinely shapes this channel. If you have not subscribed yet, please do it now, and make sure the bell icon is turned on so you get notified every time I post a new video. This channel is dedicated to giving you real, practical, evidence-based tools for protecting your mind and living with clarity and confidence as you age. I am Dr. Vanse, and I will see you in the next video. Take care of that extraordinary brain of yours. It is worth every minute you give.